The air in the dim room hung heavy with the acrid scent of stale tobacco and gun oil. Scott Payne stood motionless as the cold steel of a pistol pressed firmly against his sweating temple. Suspicion had finally turned into a death sentence. He was surrounded by men who called him brother, yet now they viewed him as a ghost. To survive the night, he had to prove he wasn't wearing a wire. The silence was deafening, broken only by the heavy thumping of his heart. For nearly 2 decades, this was the reality for the man known as Big Cat. He existed in the shadows between law and lawlessness, a master of deception who traded his soul to protect a country that didn't even know his name. This is the harrowing odyssey of an elite undercover FBI agent who successfully infiltrated the world's most violent cults. From biker gangs to neo-Nazi terrorists, Scott Payne walked through the gates of hell and somehow found his way back to the light. Part 1. Becoming the Ghost Agent. Scott's journey began in the rugged rural heartland of the United States. Raised amidst redneck culture, he naturally spoke the rough language of the woods. He wore the camouflage and the grit of his upbringing like a second skin, unnoticed and completely unremarkable. His greatest weapon wasn't a badge or a gun, but his authentic appearance. While other agents struggled to blend in, Scott simply existed. To the criminals he targeted, he was just another face from the trailer parks, a man they could easily trust. During his turbulent teenage years, Scott experimented with the dark occult, claiming a terrifying encounter with a demonic entity. This haunting memory left a permanent scar on his psyche, yet it provided him with a dark, twisted vocabulary that would later save his life. He realized he could convincingly mimic the behaviors of devil worshippers to gain access to extremist groups. What was once a source of personal terror became his professional masterstroke. He understood the darkness because he had stood on its very edge before. His first major descent was into the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, a world defined by chrome, leather, and sudden violence. He built intense, genuine bonds with men like Scott Town and Gasoline, living a double life where every friendship was a calculated, dangerous lie. Part 2. Deep Cover Betrayal. Suspicion peaked during a high-stakes drug deal, leading to a tense confrontation in a locked room. Forced to strip naked at gunpoint, Scott remained calm. The recording device was cleverly sewn into his rugged clothing, narrowly escaping the gang's aggressive, frantic, physical search. Having passed the test, he was promoted to vice president, gaining access to the gang's deepest secrets. When the FBI finally raided the clubhouse, the betrayal was total. Scott watched as his brothers were led away in chains, fueled by his own evidence. Next, he moved toward the Ku Klux Klan, using a cover story as a satanic heavy metal singer. He witnessed disturbing rituals in hidden groves, where animal blood was spilled under the moonlight. The air smelled of copper and damp earth during these nights. The spiritual toll mounted when he took a vow of brotherhood while blindfolded in a dark, empty field. He felt the weight of 1,000 eyes watching him. That moment of ritualistic submission left him feeling spiritually hollow and deeply, permanently traumatized. The stakes rose higher when Scott targeted the base and the Atomwaffen division. These neo-Nazi accelerationists dreamed of total societal collapse. They planned to poison water supplies and bomb vital infrastructure, viewing themselves as the soldiers of a coming global racial apocalypse. Part 3. When it nearly broke him. In 2019, during a forest meeting, the group performed a ritual to identify a traitor. Scott, overwhelmed by the pressure, suffered a massive panic attack and collapsed. Miraculously, several others fainted from fear, and the group pointed their fingers at an innocent man. The final hunt led Scott toward the mysterious Roman Wolf, the elusive leader of the base. Operating from the safety of Russia, Ronaldo Nazzaro managed global terror cells. To catch him, Scott needed a technological miracle that could bypass the world's tightest security. He utilized a cutting-edge recording device, allegedly crafted from wood to bypass metal detectors. Some accounts even suggest it was implanted beneath his skin. This high-tech deception allowed him to coordinate a final, decisive meeting in Italy that dismantled the entire leadership. The mission was a resounding success, but the man who emerged from the shadows was broken. 20 years of lying, drinking, and witnessing depravity had shattered Scott's mind. The big cat was tired, haunted by the faces of those he had betrayed. Diagnosed with severe PTSD, Scott retired from the field to seek a different kind of peace. He traded the undercover life for the pulpit, becoming a pastor and an instructor. Now, he teaches new agents how to survive the darkness without losing themselves. Part 4. The Price of the Mission. Scott Payne's legacy is written in the classified files of successfully thwarted terror plots and broken extremist cells. He proved that to defeat a monster, one must sometimes wear its skin. However, the cost of such a victory is often paid in spirit. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the invisible wars fought in the shadows of our society. While we sleep, men like Scott walk among the wolves, pretending to howl so that the rest of the world can live in quiet safety. Today, he finds solace in the quiet rituals of faith and the structured environment of the FBI Academy. The adrenaline has faded, replaced by the heavy responsibility of wisdom. He is a survivor of a war that has no official medals. Scott Payne lived 1,000 lies to preserve a single truth, that even in the deepest darkness, the light eventually finds a way. He stared into the abyss for 20 years, and in the end, the abyss was the one that finally blinked.